Welcome back to Inside Games, the last gaming news show brave enough to hold out some hope that Activision Blizzard isn't the worst company on the face of the planet.
That's right, Bruce. We like positivity here. Well, hold on. Got a little notification on the old phone there. It's buzzing on me. Oh yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Wait, it's all gone? That's it? We're out?
Yeah, hope's out. That's it. Zero hope left. I set up a little alert. It just fired off. It's shit, dude. We're out. We're done. That's it.
All right. Well, I guess that's this week's news just absolutely killed it.
Fuck. It was a good run, I guess, which is probably what a lot of people are saying about Activision Blizzard in general right now.
The embattled company cannot get through a single motherfucking week without everything getting incredibly worse. This week is one for the record books, with Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick directly accused of not only knowing about the company's legacy of systemic harassment towards women, but intervening in a specific case to perpetuate it and knowingly withholding that information from the company's board of directors.
It's quite possibly the worst combination of things. Not only morally, but from a business standpoint. If you're lying to your board, and believe it or not, that's not even all.
It's gonna be one of those days, Lawrence. Let's just get into it, please. Jeez.
All the terrible details come from a Wall Street Journal report posted on November 16th, which lists incidents of suspicious behavior from Kotick, all casting very heavy doubt and even directly contradicting his repeated insistence that he was unaware of any harassment issues pervading Activision Blizzard.
Notably, the first incident described in the report doesn't relate to Blizzard Entertainment, where most of the investigations and lawsuits have centered so far. Instead, a former Sledgehammer Games employee lawyered up after allegedly being raped in both 2016 and 2017 by her male supervisor.
So after reporting incidents to Sledgehammer HR and seeing nothing happen, this employee quit and then threatened to sue the company via an email from her lawyer. Shockingly, Activision reached an out-of-court settlement just months later.
Activision did take action, firing the accused supervisor 2 months after receiving the lawsuit notification, the worst possible time to fire this person. They provided additional context to the Wall Street Journal as well, with an Activision spokeswoman claiming that the victim couldn't remember specifics due to intoxication and that she had actually not reported either incident to the company before leaving.
So notably, CEO Bobby Kotick did not mention this to the board of directors, just like he recently neglected to inform the board that the state of California was bringing charges against the company. It's just CEO things, I guess. You just whoopsie. A lot going on in your head.
Yeah, so is any of this not scummy enough for you? It's possible that a CEO just plain wouldn't know about multiple rapes and a pending lawsuit at one of their biggest studios, but another incident leaves much less to the imagination.
In 2017, and this is getting much more recent, a female employee accused Treyarch co-head Dan Bunting of sexual harassment after a night of drinking. In 2019, an Activision internal investigation recommended firing Bunting, but Kotick reportedly intervened to keep him on staff, which Activision did, and provided him some counseling.
The Wall Street Journal reports that Bunting left his position after they contacted him about the incident.
So in this incident, not only was Kotick explicitly aware of this incident, like he says he isn't, but he himself intervened to reduce the consequences of the behavior. And while these and other incidents in the report indicate Kotick had full awareness of the harassment at Blizzard, other allegations yet show that he even participated in it himself.
In 2006, a former assistant for Kotick claimed that he harassed her and even threatened to have her killed in a voicemail. He apparently settled this out of court and, quote, deeply regrets the exaggeration and tone in his voicemail to this day, according to an Activision spokeswoman.
1 year later, in 2007, a flight attendant working on a private jet co-owned by Kotick, which is already a sentence that makes me want to roll my eyes. This flight attendant sued him for what could be construed as retaliation or retaliatory firing. So here's the deal. The attendant claimed to have been assaulted by the pilot on the plane and reported it to the other owner of the plane. After that, Kotick stepped in and fired her.
In 2008, the case settled for $200,000, with a spokesman claiming that it couldn't have been retaliation since the flight attendant didn't complain directly to Kotick.
It's slimy enough to make your skin crawl, really. It's just like, can it be that easy? But it's from a long time ago, 15 years ago. Maybe Kotick's a changed man now.
Well, Lawrence, don't worry. There's recent stuff as well. By the way, when I laugh and I chuckle, this is just because it's so terribly bad. This isn't because I think any of this is funny. I want you all to know that. It's just so devious. He's like the fucking Emperor Palpatine of the video game industry. So I want you to know it's just insanely terrible, and it's me just probably just nervous laughing. I don't think that any of this is funny.
Yeah, no, this is all dark comedy just because of how absurd it is. Like, the absurdity by itself would be funny, but it's absurdity because it's also hurting a lot of people. So it's, you know, human beings react weirdly to that. So good clarification.
The Wall Street Journal reports that former Blizzard technology chief Ben Kilgore had been accused of sexual harassment for years, in addition to lying about a relationship with a lower-level employee during company investigations. Kotick approved his firing in 2018, which contradicts his claim that Activision Blizzard's culture has changed recently.
Former Blizzard president Mike Morhaime sent a company-wide email praising Kilgore on the way out.
Oh, a few years later in 2020, a letter drafted by 30 female employees in Activision's esports division called this out, describing, quote, the feeling of defeat when an abuser exits the company with positive public farewells. The letter also describes unwanted touching, exclusion from important work functions, and just pervasive shittiness, as we've all seen now at this point for this company.
And, according to the report, Kotick had full awareness of that letter, many other things, according to people familiar with the matter, in 2020.
And that's not even the most recent example, Lawrence.
Kotick very directly threw a woman under the bus just a few weeks ago.
Remember when all this broke out and Activision Blizzard's executive vice president for corporate affairs, Frances Townsend, posted the worst possible public response. The one that said the California lawsuit was, quote, truly meritless and irresponsible, and that the lawsuit, quote, presented a distorted and untrue picture of our company, including factually incorrect, old, and out-of-context stories. Y'all remember that? Because we reported on it.
We did, yeah. And then, because everyone hated the response so much, she had to step down from her role as executive sponsor of the ABK Women's Network, and she deleted her whole-ass Twitter account. Remember?
The Wall Street Journal reports that Kotick drafted, approved, and directed that email to be sent by Frances Townsend directly.
And then this mad lad had the raw balls on the same day to turn around and write an open letter to employees under his name saying, quote, our initial responses to the issues we faced together and to your concerns were quite frankly tone deaf.
This isn't a misinterpretation either. Kotick's spokeswoman says he takes responsibility for the incident, I mean, even though he didn't really, and says, quote, Ms. Townsend should not be blamed for this mistake. Well, duh.
Which he said through a spokeswoman after being investigated. How is that in any way taking responsibility? Oh, god damn. And if you think corporate sleaze can't sleaze any harder, ooh, just wait.
Oh man, the report also details why Jennifer O'Neill, the first female lead of any of Activision's business units, has already quit her position after just 3 months as Blizzard Entertainment co-head.
This is the most like overblown, absurd, how can this be real thing. So according to the report, just 1 month after operating in her new role, O'Neill sent an email to Activision's legal team bluntly saying she did not have faith in the company's current leadership to correct the problems they were going through.
Yeah, in the letter, O'Neill revealed that she had also been sexually harassed early in her career, and that even now she was being paid less than her male counterpart, co-lead Mike Ibarra. The company replied with an equal contract only after she offered her resignation, and she did not accept the counter.
Let's put the strategy through analysis here.
Okay.
It's 2021. Your company's getting sued by state and federal regulators for sexual discrimination.
Uh-huh.
So in return, you split the leadership into 2 positions.
Yes.
Give only one of them to a woman, the first one ever.
Uh-huh.
And you still pay her less than the dude sitting right next to her.
Wait, hold on.
You put her next to a man that you pay more.
Lawrence.
And that's the exact thing you're in trouble for doing.
But Lawrence, this is how we save money. This is how we save money. Lawrence, it's all about the bottom line.
How can you...
It's insane. It's literally insanity.
When she writes
I
a
don't
letter
know,
saying I'm quitting,
yeah.
how do you not offer her the most ridiculous package ever to keep her on board? And unless she's at the point where it's moral and it's like, no, I'm quitting no matter what. Okay, fine, but come on. Like, pay her what she wants. Like, this is the one thing you didn't need.
At that point, you just give her whatever she asks for. It doesn't, and like, you're not like, okay, well, we're gonna try and lowball her. Like, what? Pretty hard for Bobby Kotick to come off looking like an innocent bystander here. Not that anyone really bought that in the first place. Lawrence, you talk about how we gave him a little credit a few weeks ago.
I thought somewhere in his 30-year tenure as CEO of this company, there was a chance that he had been inoculated from the let's say the grime of the common man, the common worker. But no, this is all like there's too many incidents and all of them are too well documented from too many independent people for that to fly at all.
We have not even detailed all of the accusations in the Wall Street Journal piece either, which shout outs to the writing staff over there for doing some amazing reporting and protecting marginalized workers. That's what journalism is all about. So great job, WSJ.
Good job there. If you want, you can check the link to the original article in the description here. It is behind a paywall though, but I'm gonna encourage you to pay for good journalism. How about that? So regardless, you can imagine that this news hasn't gone over too well since the report was published.
Activision Blizzard issued a statement about 3 hours after the article landed, in which the board of directors, quote, remains confident in Bobby Kotick's leadership, commitment, and ability as CEO, and that he, quote, appropriately addressed workplace issues brought to his attention. The board is defending him here, and that's disgusting.
That's weird. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And further reports indicate that the board is sticking to their guns, at least so far.
Game Developer reports that Activision Blizzard held a live-streamed all-hands meeting following the Wall Street Journal article. In it, leadership team members reiterated the company's public defenses and responded to screened questions from employees.
They started the meeting with a spoonful of sugar. Everyone gets a whole week off for Thanksgiving. Hooray!
But then they also directly said that Bobby Kotick's brand new zero tolerance policy, the one he announced on October 28th, that said any employee guilty of retaliation and most guilty of misconduct would be fired immediately, would not be applied to Kotick himself. What the fuck? Are you kidding? That's insanity. Even though he admits to the whole death threat thing. Like, what? How could they be like, you know what? Zero tolerance, except for our boss. What the fuck?
So, and this is great. The reason that they're not enforcing it is because the company apparently does not have any evidence of the claims against him since it happened so long ago, even though Kotick basically admitted it himself through his spokeswoman.
There it is. By the way, that's the whole game. Recall that the terms of a settlement within the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission would allow them to delete records of complaints after complainants have been paid out. We talked about that a lot. This is why, so 5 years later, you could just shrug at the supposed lack of evidence.
It's wild to me. I never really considered until seeing how this company operates, just how much a settlement is also, you can never ever bring this up again in any capacity. We settle and we delete it from history. It must be liberating then to, like, you know the cost of violating the law in every circumstance then. Because you have like data on every settlement in every state for every kind of infraction. You just do the math. Holy crap. I see it all in crystal clarity now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, cool, great. So the dude's a creep, and the board of directors is still backing him, at least publicly so far.
Though it's possible they're presenting a unified front for the sake of their employees and business partners while they try to figure out how to get this guy out. I'm honestly surprised they didn't just go, okay, you're gone, like the next day. I'm very, very surprised by that.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason. And the obvious one is that Bobby Kotick actually has grown Activision Blizzard substantially during his tenure. That company makes ass loads of money now, and it's been growing year over year. So, by the numbers, not the morality, he's been doing a great job as CEO. But he's also one of the most overcompensated CEOs, so, you know, what are you going to do? Speaking of compensation, for another reason maybe, and this is not so material, but Fortune does point out that it won't be cheap for Activision Blizzard to get rid of Bobby Kotick either. As part of his employment contract, Kotick would get $260,000 for being terminated with cause, or $265 million for being terminated without cause. So he gets paid to be fired either way. And this is already one of the highest paid CEOs in the world.
At this point, you terminate him with cause, right? That's 260 grand, that's nothing.
Well, yeah, but then his lawyers are gonna say, you don't have cause. And then he sues his own company to get a settlement. I don't know.
Like, there's gotta be cause in there somewhere from the Equal Opportunity or the Equal Employment Commission, the federal government, the state government.
You would need, like, and this, again, this goes back to the game, right? You would need documented, written, provable evidence that he was involved in any of these things. And I don't, like, it probably exists, but when you have that many millions of dollars and probably a lot of lawyers, you can just make it not that simple. You can make it very painful for anyone to do anything to you.
What happened to this man's conscience? What happened to it? Is it gone? Is it gone? Has it gone for 20 years? You think about that, like the shit that you're going through. Eventually you're justifying it in your head, obviously, but like, how did it go away? Did it just disappear? Like, shouldn't he be like, you know what, this is bad. This is bad for the company, I should quit.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it's just that alpha sigma grind set, I guess.
Well, whatever the reason, hopefully Kotick enjoys being backed by the board because nobody else is backing him.
Very lonely man tonight, yeah. Activision Blizzard employees, least of all, understandably, They organized a walkout on November 16th, the same day the original report hit. So that thing hit the internet and they were out the door. God bless. This is the second employee walkout since the California state lawsuit that started bringing all of this to public light.
Employees have also organized a public petition calling for Bobby Kotick's resignation. Yeah, good. Please just get the fuck out. With over 1,000 signatures, according to a count from The Verge. This petition isn't anonymous either. Employees are putting their full names and titles here, which is a huge flex, and way to go.
Yeah. Typically, that would open you up to retaliation at any other company if you publicly said you wanted the CEO to leave. There's also a consumer-oriented change.org petition with over 3,500 signatures at the time of writing, which aims to, quote, show Bobby Kotick that we are not okay with him blatantly ignoring the cries of his employees.
Activision Blizzard shareholders also requested Bobby Kotick's resignation on November 17th. Now that should be it. That's the end. That's the end. If shareholders are like, get him out, that's it. Group statement representing 4.8 million shares claims that Kotick, quote, failed either to ensure that the executives and managers responsible were terminated or to recognize and address the systematic nature of the company's hostile workplace culture.
As a result, they'd like Kotick to resign and for the board's 2 longest-serving directors to retire by the end of the year.
So now, you've got your employees, your shareholders, and definitely all of us, the customers, wanting Bobby Kotick gone. So that's about everybody, right?
Oh, numbers. There's more.
Bloomberg reviewed an internal email in which Sony Interactive Entertainment president and CEO Jim Ryan said Activision, quote, has not done enough to address a deep-seated culture of discrimination and harassment, and that, quote, we do not believe their statements of response properly address the situation.
Like it's an internal message, but it's still a very strong one for a business to like tell your company that one of your business partners is not measuring up. That's intense. Ryan goes on to tell employees that Sony has, quote, outreached to Activision immediately after the article was published to express our deep concern and to ask how they plan to address the claims made in the article.
Sony isn't the only company getting ready to kick Activision's door down over this incident either, are they, Lawrence?
That's right. Video games are mobilizing. Bloomberg also reviewed a staff email from Xbox, in which Xbox head Phil Spencer tells employees that he's, quote, evaluating all aspects of our relationship with Activision Blizzard and making ongoing proactive adjustments as the story develops.
If there's anybody I expect to be a straight shooter, it's Phil Spencer, and I would imagine he's probably like, get this shit off my fucking platform. Like, I don't want this ever to see the light of day until Kotick's gone. So, and they're probably, honestly, they probably are colleagues, and I don't know about friends, but they are definitely colleagues, coworkers. So, imagine fucking up so bad that gaming's biggest platform holders are wondering whether or not they should work with you anymore. Holy shit!
That's a pretty high scale fuck up, and as usual, somehow it gets even worse.
And of course, the icing on the cake, the charitable organization Girls Who Code announced that they are ending their relationship with Activision Blizzard, saying the recent report, quote, proves that our priorities are fundamentally misaligned. We cannot, in good conscience, continue to work with a company that is so antithetical to our own values.
I don't know how it gets, in the court of public opinion, I don't know how it gets worse than a charity saying no thanks.
Literally free money from that company, and they were like, we ain't taking it.
Even they're saying working with them is actually going to set us back. So that pretty much means everyone in the world is all for Bobby Kotick getting the old Bobby boot. Get him out. Except for the board of directors right now.
Why have they not tossed him out? What's going on?
All I can figure is that knowing Kotick, they know that if they quickly and publicly turn on him, he's got a lot of money and a lot of connections. I have to assume that this is all just diplomacy. Knowing Kotick and the tenure he has at the company and the money he's amassed and the lawyers he probably has on retainer, like, you have to do everything very carefully and by the book when you try to, cut cancer out. You can't just chop it out with an axe. So I can't imagine the board is actually 100% backing Kotick anymore, because he's such a liability at this point. And it's not like it'd be hard to get another sleazy CEO in there to do whatever the board wants. So I just think they're saying what they need to say to both seem like they're still unified to their employees, to seem like they can still operate a business. If the board comes out and they throw him under the bus right away and he responds with a lawsuit, it's not going to go away overnight. So I think they're just trying to pick the most smooth option to get him out. That's what I hope. If they truly are trying to retain him,
they are just as evil as Kotick.
Yeah, but it's going to have severe business implications at this point. When you have shareholders who are not even in an investor meeting, coming out of the woodwork saying, get rid of this guy. And they're promising to vote particular ways in upcoming votes. Like, that's a real serious crisis. It's finally boiled over to the point where it will affect, I think, Kotick's tenure. I think.
Let's be real. This is the end of this guy's career. Like, he can't show his face in public anymore. He's not going to be another CEO at a high-profile company ever again. I mean, I don't think anybody takes this guy. I would be very surprised if, like, Microsoft was like, you know what? Come on over. Be our head of whatever. Like, there's no... I don't think... This is years and years of him sitting on his golden parachute, you know, fucking twiddling his evil mustache. But he for sure is not working in industry for a long time.
I hope so. I don't know. After witnessing people's ability to overlook or forget things they don't want to know.
Man, I would be really surprised if another major company was like announced, "Hey, we got Kotick."
Probably not in the gaming space, but I could see him switching industries and being fine. I could, like, other industries that don't have like public
oil
facing.
industry.
Yeah, exactly. I think he could go into something that's not public facing and not miss a beat, and probably get paid just as much, if not more. You know, that cynicism doesn't really matter. I think the important thing is that we kick his ass out of video games. That'd be pretty good.
Bye, Bobby. We'll see you later. Hopefully never.